Hey guys, welcome back again to Rebuild Reality. I am your host, Sky Cheyenne, and today I'm sharing a story with you guys, a situation that happened to one of the subscribers to this channel who is also a client, and they very graciously allowed me to share their experience with you guys. So I think it was about 4 videos ago, I will put the link to that video when I go back and figure out exactly which one it was in the description box if you guys want to see it. But basically, this is the same kind of a repeat thing that shows that this is an ability we have. It shows that we can, in the moment, stop something that is unfolding, beginning to unfold as a negative experience, and be like, no. So this is before the need to rewrite something. We're hitting it immediately. When something comes up, the panic sets in, and we're like, and it's like, no. So this is exactly what these 2 gentlemen did. And in my first video, the first gentleman basically had a car repair shop, and he was working on a client's vehicle, and he had finished fixing it and he was going to clean the car and had gone to check on something because the machine to jet wash it wasn't working. And when he had left sight of it, that vehicle rolled down an incline and smashed into another car. Well, as you can imagine, any one of us would immediately be like, oh my God, I just destroyed my client's car and some other car as well. Complete freak out, right? But in the moment, he said, no. There's going to be minimal damage and it's going to be easy to fix. And he said that he kept repeating it for about a minute or so. It's okay. It's going to be minimal damage, easy to fix. Because what happens? That fear wants to grab at us. It wants to immediately pull us down with it. And so it's like, no, you are not in charge. You are not going to be the one who decides and brings me along for the negative ride here. I'm going to put the brakes on and be like, no, it's going to go this way. I'm going to tell you how this is going to go, how this is going to play out. So that's what this gentleman did. And he kept repeating to himself until he calmed down. There's going to be minimal damage, easy to repair. And then basically just kind of went off from there and didn't even look at it himself till later. And what appeared to be absolute disaster at first turned out to be exactly what he said. Minimal damage, easy to repair. And not only that, someone that he knew contacted him. Turns out they had exactly the same car and wanted to give him any parts he wanted off of it because the engine had blown and they didn't need it anymore, literally for free. So that's how that guy, the viewer of this channel, stopped that situation from unfolding in the negative. Well, this other watcher of this channel, this other client of mine, did the same thing. So I want to repeat his story here. I want you guys to know, so you know that this is a thing that you can do, that this is an ability you have when the negative is unfolding in the moment, that we can stop these things, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and read you what he wrote because I asked him if it would be okay to share this, and he very graciously agreed to do that so you guys could have an example as well. And so thank you very much to him for allowing us to talk about that on the channel. So basically, he sells things on eBay. And he said that he had an individual who purchased something from him that thought that he had scammed him. And this person, his customer, demanded a refund. He claimed that my client had sold him a counterfeit product and demanded that he either receive a refund or that my client, the viewer of this channel, provided him a return envelope with a label to return it to him, at a point where my client could not really afford for this to happen, right? He's like, I needed that money. He's like, couldn't really afford to even return it to him. So he said, upon seeing that eBay message from the customer, he said, I initially freaked out, right? He said, but I knew not to trust my reaction nor my emotions. He said, I literally said to myself that this situation will resolve itself. And I made a point to let go of whatever anxiety I was feeling as best I could, he said, regardless of how intense it felt, even if it meant allowing the anxiety to be there instead of resisting it. So basically, he said, I refused to let the emotion define me or have power over me despite how I felt. He said, fortunately, I was able to let go of a lot of it. He said, but not all of it. He said, but to my surprise, I didn't need to let go of it completely to see the results. So good to know that that can still be there, but as long as we're like staying on top of it, right? Like, no, you know, you still feel it, you still know it's happening, but it's like, no, I can change this, right? He said, I kept affirming that the situation would resolve itself. And so by the time I reached out to the customer, which was a few hours after he said he had seen his message, he said, I learned from the customer that it was a huge misunderstanding on the customer's end. He said the customer inspected the product that he had sent to him. He said much more closely and realized that he had made a mistake on his part, the customer's part. So the situation, as he exactly had affirmed, ultimately resolved itself, right? So something that would have had a very negative impact on him at that point, you know, financially. So in that moment, he remained calm. And even though he couldn't just, you know, completely like, you know, he's like, okay, he just didn't let it get the best of him. He just didn't let it overwhelm him. He was able to be like, okay, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a try. In the moment, I'm going to go ahead and be like, let's do this, right? No, this is going to turn out my way. I'm going to be the one who gets to say. Because, you know, once we let things go and they happen, and then we're trying to revise them and stuff like that, well then, it's a lot harder, isn't it? But if we can grab them in the moment, just like I spoke about before, like when you're sitting in front of a fire and you get a spark that comes out of the fireplace and lands on your sweater, and immediately you brush it off, and there's no damage done. But you let it sit. You let it continue to grow. It's going to burn a hole in it, and then, boy, it's going to really be a lot harder to fix. Same thing with this. Exactly the same thing with this. Grab it in the moment, and you can turn anything around. So keep that in mind, that is a part of something that you can do. This is a part of your toolkit that you guys have that is just part of, you know, what we come with. It's part of the program of your ability to do things like this. So thank you once again to my client for allowing me to share that with you guys. I appreciate that, because I know it's going to be inspiring for all of you. And I hope that the next time something like that comes up for you, that you yourself will use that and also have a success that you can tell the rest of us about as well. So thank you guys for being with me here once again on Rebuild Reality. As you know, I do coaching, and the link for that is in the description box below if you guys need me. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you here next time on Rebuild Reality.